Okay, I have an ayahuasca ceremony coming up in, I think the first session of a 3-session over 3-day retreat. The first session is in 4 days from now. So I'm going to ask another ayahuasca question, and that question is, what actually happens in an ayahuasca experience? So I'm not asking what are the mechanics. I mean, where do they get you to lay? What do they say to you beforehand? Not that type of thing. I want to know what actually happens once you're in the experience and you start having this internal experience of the ayahuasca. I want to know what's happening internally, what's actually going on. So that's the question. What actually happens in an ayahuasca experience? Alrighty. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Greetings and thank you for the question. What actually happens in an ayahuasca experience? In the most simplified way we can answer this, we would say that you experience what is possible when there is detachment from identification with the apparatus. So it is a journey of exploration, which usually you are not capable of taking because you are solidified into the apparatus. You identify with the apparatus, your focal point of consciousness is within the apparatus. And so this identification with the apparatus limits you, inhibits you, restricts you from exploring these aspects of yourself which cannot be reached while tethered to the apparatus. So being tethered to the apparatus, being identified with the apparatus, this is not an error on your behalf, but it is consequential to the design. And at this stage of the evolution of the Earth human being, it is expected that there still will be an exaggerated identification with the apparatus. And to clarify, the apparatus is the mind, the body, the personality. However, consciousness is one thing. All consciousness is one thing, and it is this one thing that has individuated itself to an infinitum and remains one thing, although within the illusion of there being many things. And so as it is all one thing, everything is connected. And so when we consider that there are many all connected to form one thing, then essentially what we are saying is there is a network. And when you are in the ayahuasca experience, what is made possible, if you can surrender and allow the disidentification with the apparatus to occur, to be emancipated from that prison of the 3D, then you are free to move within the network. So you can explore other aspects of self, other perspectives of self, because it is all you, because there is only one, and everything forms the one through the structure of a network, of a lattice. So, during the ayahuasca experience, in your state of surrender, leading to a disidentification, a letting go of the identity which you believe yourself to be when your focal point is still within the 3D physical apparatus, then you will be let loose, in a sense, into the network, to move about the network, to explore other aspects of self. And these other aspects of self are also other aspects of other beings. And those beings that are less so identified with whatever apparatus they have, whatever identification as a single being they occupy, they also will be moving freely about within this network, so their consciousness can be beyond the borders of the apparatus. And so during your experience you will have the opportunity to interact with other individuations of the One who have the capacity to be in a conscious state, expanded in their consciousness so that they are unidentified to a degree with the apparatus that they can be conscious within the network at the same time as being conscious within the body. At the moment, this is something which the human being has yet to master, and so it is required to have this experience. For most, there are some that can do it, and there has been throughout human history, there are some that can do it. But generally, for the Earth human being, it is required that you are in a trance-like state, that you have descended or ascended into a state of altered consciousness sufficient that you can explore the network while the apparatus lay dormant, while the apparatus is completely detached from. So, when you are detached from the apparatus in this trance-like state of the body, and you can enter into the network to explore the network and interact with other beings within the network, then of course a common concern is, will I encounter beings with a malevolent agenda while I am within the network? Beings that will possibly exploit my naivety, my freshness with this experience. While this possibility does exist, we would say do not place concern in this, because the concern itself will be an energetic state that will make you more vulnerable to this occurring. The most clarified way that you do this is to be in a state of complete surrender and trust without any negativity in your emotional field. And if you are to maintain this, then you will have a frequency which will not be resonant with any form of malevolence. And so while they are there, within the network, it is an energetic state, it is an energetic experience. And so the dynamics, the algorithm of interaction which occurs is also energetic in nature. So if you do encounter beings which are of malevolence, it would only be because there is an energetic resonance with them, drawing them to you, and your negative resonance, your resonance which attracts them, will also be the mechanism which creates coupling as a possibility. It is the harmonization or the synchronization in your energy fields which will allow a merging of such to occur. However, if your energetic state is demarkedly different from those that would have a malevolent agenda, then quite literally, through the physics, the metaphysics of how it works, they will not be able to couple with you. They will not be able to form any type of parasitic relationship with you. Because quite literally, it just will not be a possibility. So, go to this experience without fear, without anxiety, without concern. Go in a purified state as much as you are capable of doing. And this is why, leading up to the experience, it is so important that you meditate regularly, look after your emotionality, your mind, and your physical apparatus to the highest degree of which you are capable. Because you want to arrive at this experience, at this ceremony, being as clarified and as clear and as vibratorily clean and high in your frequency as you possibly can in all of the ways that you exist while being the human experience. So let us say that we can discontinue speaking about these malevolent entities because you understand the basic premise, and also by speaking about them any further than we already have is only going to add to the possibility of you having some type of anxiety regarding that, which is counter to our objective. So now let's turn our focus towards having an experience with other entities that have a benevolent agenda, that have something to share with you, that is for the purpose of fulfilling a agenda of expansion into more acknowledgement, more recognition, more experience of the light by the One. And therefore, by you. By you in terms of the experience of the whole being, because the whole being shall be expanded, because it is with a single being, but also in a more micro level, you, the individual, being expanded in your understanding of self and of your relationship with the light and the One. And there will be beings who, when they sense your resonance and their capacity, their ability, the possibility for them to have a union with you, because you have come into the experience as very clarified, then they will come to you because their compulsion is to fulfill their purpose, which is the divine purpose, which is the expansion of the One's understanding of itself. And so they will do it through a benevolent love for you, yes, but also for a benevolent love for themselves, for the One, and also to satisfy this calling, to contribute further and further, more and more, to their purpose, which they recognize is the purpose of the One. That is, to know thyself, for consciousness to discover itself, understand itself, and realize, ultimately, that all of consciousness is the one thing. It is the One. And so, this is a rare opportunity for these beings to impart something to the earth human, because generally the earth human is not receptive to this type of expansion, this type of understanding, this type of energetic coupling, so that there can be a rapid and concise transference of information which expands, which enlightens. This type of coupling does occur in the dream state. However, in the dream state, the expansion is less felt going forward in the physicalized state, in the state being conscious, the focal point in the physical apparatus. The potency of change, the new understanding, the paradigm shift, the epiphany, which can be taken back into the physicalized state from the ayahuasca experience, is considerably more profound, more impactful, and will send ripples through all of creation, adding value in a way which usually isn't possible. So this is why it is a very common description post ayahuasca experience for people to describe having been in the presence of benevolent beings. During your experience, assuming that you have gone into the experience in a clarified state, without fear, anxiety, without anything which is not a constituent of love and the derivatives of love, then you will quite likely encounter other beings that are moving freely within the network of the One and are sensing you, drawn to you because of your frequency, and will utilize in an opportunistic way this potential for expansion of the One through the unique perspective of the One, which is you. So, during this experience, when you find yourself in the presence of entities, at that time, be mindful of your internal state before you couple with them, before you connect with them. Take a moment to be in conscious recognition of your frequency at that moment, of your energetic state. To be at peace, in surrender, exuding love, beauty, peace. And if in this clarified state these beings remain there with you, offering what you sense to be love and benevolence, then give them your attention and allow the transference of information to occur. Prepare yourself for an expanding experience. And as much as is possible, remove the mind from the experience. You may find that the communication between you and these entities, which you are satisfied are there for benevolent reasons, they may be very objective in their approach to you, which, if the mind is allowed to be overactive, will compare their way of being with your cultural norms. And there is a possibility the mind will take offence if they are very objective in their approach to you and they don't coddle you, but are very pragmatic, are very matter of fact. Resist the urge to take offence and instead allow the communication to occur without judgment on the basis of what you know to be the cultural norms for communication as an earth human being from the location that you are from. The amount of information which you are unaware of as a earth human still in the third dimension, three-dimensionality, is profound. It is vast. It is so much that, in a comparative sense, your understanding is a grain of sand in comparison to an entire planet of understanding which is yet to be incorporated into the human experience you are having. And as such, the time available for this transference of information to occur in this opportunity is wildly insufficient. And these entities, being cognizant of this, will have a tendency, occasionally, to be as efficient as possible, as objective as is required for the maximum transference of information in the time available. So, in these moments, we recommend that you be open to the transference of the information. To be inquisitive, yes. To ask questions, yes. To ask clarifications, yes. But if you are satisfied this is a benevolent entity, then don't be in a state of continually making that same judgment. Are they benevolent? Are they benevolent? Are they benevolent? Resist, resist, resist. Because this will weaken the signal between you. It will lessen the coupling. And it will eventually break the link and put you in a frequency range which makes you more harmonic, more likely to couple with an entity that is matching to this concern. Are you benevolent? So, the model would be to have this most rapid transference of information that is possible. Go into the ceremony as clarified as possible in all ways. Being vibrating at the highest frequency that is possible for you. And this is why your preparation, pre-experience, is so vital. So if you have not yet, wean yourself from any substances which are not natural. Wean yourself from any emotionality which is not love and its derivatives. And entirely cut off any consumption of information which is likely to activate or trigger anxiety. If you wish to consume information, if you wish to fill the empty moments between now and the ceremony with information, then let it be information which is entirely for the purpose of upliftment, for expansion, for love. Second, in this process, when you are in the presence of these other entities, before you connect with them and couple, be very discerning about their vibration, their intention. Without fear, in a very pragmatic and objective way, just as they will treat you. Just seek clarification while maintaining your state of love, clarified vibration, high frequency, and they will honour your request. They will appreciate the sense that you have asked in this way. And then if you get the indication from them in a way which you can trust, because this is your experience, there is some subjectivity to it because there will be some decision making on your behalf. So we cannot give you more specified direction than this, because ultimately it is you that shall decide. Then if you have also completed this step and you have a sense that they are beings of benevolence, of love and light, that are there to fulfill the purpose of expanding the one, increasing consciousness's understanding of itself through the unique perspective which is you, then the final step is be an open vessel for what they wish to share. Allow for rapid transference of information. Do not be off-put by their objectivity, by their pragmatism. Understand they are being opportunistic of a rare moment to feed much understanding, which will create a greater expansion of the light into the human field through the perspective which is you. So it shall be their desire to work with you in this way. If you're able to do this, then your experience will be a profound one, because you will download so much information, because very little of the time will have been wasted in resistance, in doubt, in stopping and starting. And then the cumulative effect of the 3 sessions using this approach will be very significant. And you will be much more likely to walk away from that retreat as a profoundly transformed human being. And the transformation will continue in the days, weeks and months following. And your transformation into the future over the years to come as you mature will also be profoundly shifted, will be conducive to an insight of self, of the one, of life, existence, consciousness, which is rare indeed for the human being. In closing, let us reiterate again these three components of the model which we recommend will assist you in getting the most from this experience. 1. Be clarified as much as is possible in all ways. Body, mind, emotion. 2. When you are in the experience and you are in the state of surrender, clarified, vibrating at a high frequency, do not couple with any other entity that you detect as being present without beforehand inquiring in a pragmatic and efficient way, being objective. What is your intention? What is it you wish to share with me? Are you a being benevolent and loving? And then if you are sensing in a way that you can trust that they are indeed beings of love and benevolence with the agenda of expanding the one by expanding you because you are a unique perspective of the one, then, in the final step, be open, be unjudging, be as receptive to receiving the download as you possibly can be. Open the aperture so that as much information as is possible to be transferred in that experience in the time available can occur. So that when you exit from the experience, it could be said that you have downloaded as much as is possible, because no time was wasted in fear, anxiety, resistance, doubt, and then returning over and over to this same decision. Can I trust you? Can I trust you? Can I trust you? We understand that there are fears of being attached to by entities that will suck from you rather than contribute to you. And this is, of course, a possibility. However, it is not as likely as some may assume. It is not a matter of luck. It's not a matter of being unfortunate enough that a malevolent entity passing by happens to realise there's the opportunity to attach to you, and to take from you, to toxify you with its own malevolent agenda. There is the law of metaphysics, the law of physics, in this realm at play. And so they can not have access to you, quite literally. If your vibration, if your frequency is so clarified that the only resonance you would find is with another being that is love and light, desiring to expand itself by expanding the one, which includes expanding understanding of self through the unique perspective which is you. So release any emotionality regarding this experience which isn't love and its derivatives. Let it go. Because paradoxically, it is your fear of being attached to by malevolent entities that will actually make possible that actual scenario. This is an exciting time for us because we shall be there. We move freely within the network. And that is why we were able to come to you in these sessions. Because we are able to move outside of our body and navigate through the network of the one to make couplings, to form group beings. And so we shall be there. And if your state of resonance creates an opportunity for harmonization with us, then during this experience we may take up that opportunity. However, we do not wish to monopolize the time that you have in this experience. And so, while we have the opportunity to join with you, to couple with you, to form the group being in these sessions, it is not our desire to be greedy. And if there are other beings present which have a great service to give to you, then we shall, in the ways that we can, facilitate that to occur. And if there are malevolent entities which are orbiting about because of your frequency state, because you may be carrying some anxiety and experience, then also in those moments we shall do what we can to inoculate you from any type of adverse coupling, attachment. But ultimately, it is up to you to be clarified in your state in all ways that you can be. We love you. We thank you. And we wish you to know we are as excited as you are, with zero anxiety or apprehension or fears or concerns. Thank you. We love you.